Mayad nga agahon, coming to you live from Numancia, Aklan, in Western Visayas in the Philippines. Hope everyone is having a good day. First, I want to greet everyone a happy Patriots Day. I know it's September 11 in the United States. It's September 12 here now. Always a memorable day for me. I always prayed this morning. I always send a prayer to all the lost souls we that lost during 9/11. I can still remember 9/11 like it was yesterday. I know it's been 24 years ago now, but to me it's like everything's so fresh still. I was at Misawa Air Base, Japan, when 9/11 happened, and just watching the video, watching the TV at the time of the plane crashing through the buildings in New York, the Twin Towers in New York, always, brings back memories. It wasn't a fun memory for me. It's like that was just such a tragic day. Again, I just want to pray for all the lost souls that we lost during 9/11. But now they also celebrate, I know that we celebrate Patriots Day now for September 11. We just got to remember all the people that sacrifice, the first responders, firemen, and medical people that we lost during 9/11. I remember it really well because like when that happened, it changed the military for me anyway. When I was stationed in Japan, and even before that, when that happened, the year after 9/11, we were like on alert on our base at Misawa. I ended up working at the command post. I was working in the hospital, but they assigned me to the command post to work with our commander at the time. I forgot his name. I should remember his name, but it was our colonel at the hospital. I had to work with him at the command post, but I also would still go to the readiness office and at the hospital. My best friend actually, me and him, we took turns working at the command post at Misawa Air Base, and then we would also take turns going to the office. We still had an office. We still had our office, the medical readiness office at the hospital, because we were still, that was a busy time, deploying people, deploying assets to the Middle East. Weather, I always do the weather report. Let me see here. There was a low pressure area, I remember. Hold on. My other phone here is nuts. Okay, there you go. Accept. I said accept. All right. Let me go. I had gotten. There is a low pressure area, I know, in the Mindanao region. In the Mindanao region, it says here, as of 3 a.m. today, low pressure was estimated 540 kilometers east of Hinatuan, Surigao del Sur. And I looked it up in the map. I'm not familiar with the area Hinatuan. So it's like near Butuan City in Mindanao. So we're gonna experience rain is Eastern Visayas, Davao Oriental, it says here Aurora, Quezon, cloudy skies with scattered rains and thunderstorms. And here last night, it rained in our area last night. This morning it's bright and sunny. I'm gonna have to go out there and show you guys how sunny it is here in our area. Put my hat because it's a bright and sunny outside. It's like let me just maneuver my camera here. All right. Bright. I mean, it is like bright early this morning, but it rained last night because the street is still wet. Look at that, man! It's just like that bright sun. That's always the spot too. This like, and this morning I actually caught it on film this morning. The boss rooster and his family made it all the way here to this vacant lot, but they're gone now. I guess they're headed out the gate. We don't live very far from the guardhouse here and also the main gate. At the end of this street, you make a left, and the guardhouse is maybe 100 yards away. Not very far. So the boss rooster, he was here with like 4 hens and 4 little chicks. His whole family. He was with his whole family on this vacant lot right here. The boss rooster. Really nice and sunny here. There's my neighbors there. I could tell they're sweeping, and then looks like Ate's taking care of her yard. But no rain clouds today. It's gonna be nothing but blue skies today probably, and just bright and sunny. Bright and sunny here today. Mom is outside. She is doing the laundry. We have a laundry machine outside, but Mom, she mixes it. She'll use the machine, and also she'll hand wash things. Put this back on its place here. I use the Blue Yeti to like hold the camera here, that way it doesn't move. All right, I'm back. All right, let me start reading the comments here. Oh, the first thing I wanted to mention, I decided to take out the moderators. I know they've been very helpful to our channel, and I appreciate all the help from the moderators. But I was watching James and Karen, I was watching their live stream yesterday, and they noticed that they had so many people on their banned list on their channel. So I said, well, maybe I need to check mine. And sure enough, when I checked the banned list, or the ones that I guess had where they can't make a comment or on your channel or anything like that, will they consider banned? I had over 100 people, and I know I have removed people from the live stream before, but I know I don't ban that many people. And then and actually some of those people I know, there's like a few people in there, man, I know this guy, and this guy is cool, it's not like I know that guy would have never made a bad comment or anything, and they made it to the ban list. So I just decided to take out all the moderators. I'll just moderate it. I'll just be very careful when I go through the comments. I'll take it slow. That way I don't mention, anything like vulgar or anything. And now if somebody gets vulgar or somebody gets offensive, I can remove them. I know how to do it now. It's not like before I didn't know how to do it. That's why, and I understand that our moderators were a big help removing people. But I didn't realize it had removed so many people though. And for me, it's like it was a long list, and I had to go to each one, to give them an authorization again, because I know some of them weren't really making vulgar statements on the channel or anything. Vaughn, all right, good morning, brother. When 9/11 happened, I was assigned at the U.S. Army camp. Yeah, wow, and you know what happened, right, Vaughn? It's like we were overseas, like in Japan, when that happened, we were the base got locked down, everybody was on alert. We were I ended up at the command post. It's like 24/7 operations at the command post. Serious business during that time, because we didn't know what was gonna be, or is it gonna be a second attack, third attack, whatever attack they were gonna do. Charlie Les, good morning, God bless America, for sure. God bless America. My good friend in Boston. I had Armed Forces Network in the background. Well, yeah, I think that's what we had too. We were and it's repeated and repeated, right? On the Armed Forces Network, they kept showing the Twin Towers getting hit by those planes. And, just thinking about all the people, the passengers on those planes that perished, and the people in the building. It's just that's still I still remember it like it was yesterday. They kept repeating, yes, right. They kept repeating. They kept repeating. I was like, I couldn't believe it. It's like, it almost like a bad dream, during that time. Good morning, bro. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Have a good weekend. Oh, we're going to have a good weekend. Tomorrow, we're headed to Rojas City to attend Lara's birthday party. And my friend Grace coming along with us. He has never been to Rojas City, so we'll take him. Should be fun. Hopefully we can take Leanna too. It's up in the air whether we're gonna take Leanna, but hopefully we can take Leanna too. So it'd be a good weekend. We got down for a little bit over a week. Yes, yes. Same with us at Misawa Air Base. So, they locked down the base. When they finally opened the base, then we were like always on alert. We were like 24/7 operations at the command post. Bill, good morning. Good morning, Bill. Good morning. Colonel, hey, Colonel. Good morning, Gino. And the boss rooster. I know, man. I was here. I was just like, editing video. And then the mom came in. She goes, the boss roosters. I was like, what? He made it all the way here. I was like, so I had to get my camera. I went out there. And sure enough, he's like on the vacant lot right across from my house. And he's got like 4 hens and 4 little chicks, like following him. That's why I call him the boss rooster. He's just the boss. I'm actually getting a shirt made, courtesy of my friend Alan. He sent me a design of the boss rooster, like a rooster standing, strong, and then boss rooster says and what. And so I'm gonna get a shirt made, a boss rooster shirt for Alan, and then for myself too. I'll get the boss rooster shirt. Greetings and salutations, HD. I had mentioned earlier, HD, I had removed all the moderators. I wanted to play it fair. I didn't want to like pick out 1 person, 2 person to allow them to be a moderator. I just removed everyone. I'll just be careful from now on. I learned my lesson anyway from the past. I know to watch what I read. I take a pause now. Before, I used to like hurry, and I accidentally read wrong things. So, so I'm careful now. I'm just gonna take my time. I'm not gonna rush through the comments. No topics. I'll try not to have many topics because that's when the comments pile up. I'll stay on top of everybody on the comments here. That way, you guys can ask me questions, anything you want to ask me, any like balikbayan visa, balikbayan privilege, tourist visa, SRRB, whatever you want to ask me, you guys can ask me. Morning, brother, and all future Panay. Good morning, Daniel. Good morning, Daniel. My good friend in Jacksonville, Florida. Yes, I understand, HD. Probably my mistake. There was probably moderators that I'm sure I don't think it was malicious or anything. They probably just didn't know what they were doing, like me. I don't know what I'm doing with all this. So like yesterday when Edgar's comment got, that was an accident. I understand that, but to avoid any future mistakes or people getting banned, it's like I'll just take care of it. And I'm pretty good now. I have an understanding now on how the live streams go. Good morning, Gino from the Colonel HD, and hey, Daniel. All right, Edgar. Good morning, Edgar. I'm having my coffee. Oh, I forgot my entry. I forgot my entry this morning. My coffee with Gino. I'm having my coffee with Gino in my cup. My Copico Blanca 3-in-1 coffee, cream and sugar. I can't have that. That's a must for me to get me started in the day. Wake me up a little bit. I've been awake, of course, for a couple of hours now. Took Leanna to school already, but I wanted to do this around this time. Have to know that people are responsible. Yes, I understand, HD. Edgar, I'm back to normal. it feels better with no power. It feels better with no power. You're getting ready for the Philippines, Edgar. No power. I'm not ready to be oh yeah, not ready to be a superhero yet. That's gonna take a while to reach that superhero level, that level of like you're becoming Filipino or you're adjusting to the life here in the Philippines. That takes a while. That takes a while, Edgar. That doesn't happen overnight. Sometimes a year plus before you really get adjusted to the life here. But I do think you're gonna have a great life here, Edgar. Me, my family, of course, is gonna help you. It's gonna help you find that peace, here in the Philippines. And I want to share that. That's really that when it all comes down to when I think about why am I helping people, why am I like transition here in the Philippines, I just want people to find their peace. I've found my peace here in the Philippines, and I want to share that because there's a lot of things going on in the world now. America's unfortunately, I feel like America's broken. People just want to find peace. It's not nothing against America. It's not, it's just they just want to. It's not like they're running away from America. It's not like I know most people that come here, they love America. I love America. I'm a patriot. I served 20 years in the United States Air Force. I was proud of my military service, and I would fight again for America if I called upon. But it just feels like America's broken. Just the division. I see it on my Facebook. Again, rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. It's like even on my Facebook, my friends are arguing. My friends are sending, and I'm like, wow, it's like, why is that happening? I'm getting messages on my messenger, like, it's like to me, it's just, it's not the same America. When I was in the military, I retired in 2000 for maybe because of 9/11, there was a unity in the United States. Maybe people, there was a sense of pride after 9/11. I remember even sports events, even you felt like America was together, fighting a common enemy at the time, terrorists. That was the, unfortunately, you don't see that now. Now America's like you're fighting with each other, but I don't want to get political. I don't want to be political. I want to stay positive. But that's why I want to help people come here because I know the expats here, the people that I know here, have found peace here. My friend coming from Atlanta, my friend from Houston, my friend from Hawaii, they're finding peace here because it's such a different lifestyle. The talk of like politics or anything that's far from people's mind here. When I get together with my friends here, that is not a subject that we touch anyway because like there's always a few people that will always kind of like they can't leave it alone. You're with a group of expats here, your group of Americans here, and there's somebody that will always try to bring it up, and then sometimes you have to just move away, or sometimes hey, let's not discuss that because it just brings like instead of unifying people, it just kind of breaks people apart, and then it gets ugly even sometimes. So most of the people that I know, the reason that they're coming to the Philippines, moving from the United States, coming here to the Philippines, they're retiring, they're under pension, they're under Social Security, they can't afford it in the US, so they're coming here because it's more affordable here. The ones that can afford to retire in the US, I've always said it on my live streams and my videos, I don't find a reason for them to come here. If you can afford retirement in the US, you are better off in the US. Your medical care is better there. Your housing, your infrastructure, highways, parks, national parks, it's beautiful in the United States. The people that come here, like me, that retire here, this is what we can afford. It's like when I was 45 years old, there's no way I could retire in the United States with a military pension. I had to work till I'm 62. I just made the decision to myself that, life for me was more important to experience it rather than sit in a computer, be a chair force, right? I've already been a chair force for 20 years in the United States Air Force. Then another 7 years I was working at St. Mary's Hospital. I didn't want 17 years more of being a chair force. I wanted to experience life. That's why I took off from the United States. That's why I was gonna live below my means. I was gonna live with my military pension alone because I wanted to experience life. I didn't want at 45. I had the chance to do it, and I did it. For me, it was like my choice. It's not for everyone. It's like, but that was just my decision because I was thinking, I was 45. I'm sitting on a cubicle and in front of a computer. I've been a chair force for 27 years. I'm gonna end up sitting on a chair working all day in front of a computer screen. Another 17 years. And so that's most of my life. So I just didn't want to do that. That's why I decided to come here. And now the people I'm helping, the more I talk to them, they just want peace. They just want to go to the mall or go to a coffee shop or cafe, work out at the gym and not hear the noise. I know you can probably tune out the noise. If you're in the US too, you can just stop watching the news. But sometimes it's hard because the surrounding. It's just this when you're in like a tense surrounding, when something is not right, when you hear things that are negative, it's hard to find peace, and I understand that. HD, some people just get drunk with power. Yeah, well, this happens here with the politicians, man. The politicians in the Philippines here, they're drunk with power. Hello, my posse brothers. Edgar, Colner, Gino. All right, Daniel. Hello, Gino. Hello, Kim Mandal. Hello, Kim Mandal. Lafayette Love said hi. All right, Lafayette. From my own experience, I would say, if you want to know people's nature, observe how they treat people who they have power over. I have to agree, yeah, right? And I remember HD, it's like, I've had bosses like that in the military. I remember, that you weren't treated well and treated unfair, but, I made it a point when when I got to the supervisor and management positions, that was like always taught to me. It's like, take care of the troops, take care of the troops. Hi, Daniel. Fortune, hey, good morning, Fortune. Fam, and the Panay Posse, all right. I was chatting with Fortune last night before I went to bed. It was like, we were chatting, we were texting each other, Fortune, and then I was like, it was about 7:30. I said, dude, I'm about to crash, man. I'm gonna go. I said, good night. I was like, I was getting sleepy. Hello, Daniel. Hello. What phone company do I pick at the airport? Which works best? Globe. Okay, Edgar. It's really up to you. Me, Edgar, I've been with Smart. The same SIM card that I came here in 2011, the very first SIM card I got, that's the same number I have. I think back then it was 3G, but once 4G, once 5G came, you can upgrade it. What they'll do is you just go to the Smart company here in Calibo, and they'll, there's a process on their computer that they upgrade you. So now I'm on 5G on this phone right here. But it's up to you. I mean, Globe, it's really both Smart or Globe to me. They're about equal. It's like here, unfortunately, in Calibo, even Calibo, that's like the main town here, and pretty much all of Aklan province. With your phone here, it's hit or miss. It just depends how close you are to the tower, I guess, because sometimes I'm in Calibo and I can't get any signal, and I'm in the Calibo. That's like the main town in Aklan, and I'm still not getting signal. My workaround usually is just going into like places that have Wi-Fi. If I really need to answer somebody, call someone, I just go find a place that that's why I communicate more in WhatsApp. instead of my phone, instead of my data on my phone, because if I go data on smart, it's hit or miss on the signal. Same thing when I'm driving the car and I'm using Google Map or something, it's hit or miss. I know somebody had told me download the maps, but I haven't gotten to that point yet. One of these days I'll have Dazzle maybe download it on the phone. I stay pretty busy actually, now with the YouTube, Liana's Kumon. It's just like my friend Gray, he takes up all my time now because he's here. Gray, I'm trying to entertain him. He came all the way here from Seattle, so that's why I don't really have a lot of time, like even like researching things. I do it on the go. I could be like on the treadmill on the gym and I'm like researching stuff, watching videos that I haven't watched, while I'm on the treadmill. And now working out, that's like 2.5 hours of working out every day that's taking up our time, and we'll do it again today. Like I said, when I start something, like especially working out, fitness, I'm pretty big on fitness, so I know I'll do it every day. If Dazzle, there's days where she wants to take off, I'll still do it. It's like I'm used to like working. That was my routine before YouTube, before anything. I used to work out 2-3 hours a day, so I'll go back to that since I can do it. Now I know I can do it. I can't do it the same pace I used to do it, but I'll get there. I can already tell. I'm getting back in good shape again. One, Daniel, where you were at 9/11. Lots of things happened yesterday, terrible things. I was away from the internet the whole day, and when I checked, crazy day indeed, HD, crazy day indeed. I had to catch up on all of that. While we were in the gym, I ran on the treadmill. I did 30 minutes on the treadmill, worked out, did lift the weight, then 30 minutes afterward, and those 1 hour I was watching videos about what happened yesterday. Just a terrible day for America. Celebrating his birthday. America on my mind, but the Philippines will always be in my heart. Now, all right, Juan. It's like for me, this is home for the last 14 years, Juan. This is home. I'm home here, but I always keep an eye on America. Because big part of my life. It's like it's what made I'm able to retire here. I appreciative, thankful for the life I had in the U.S., my pension from the military, and soon my pension from Social Security. So I'm grateful. That's why I'm still, I want America to do well. I want America to like be the superpower, the police of the world that keeps the peace. I want that still for America. I was in Texas on my way to Vegas. We had to drive. Cody, less drugs in the Philippines too. In the Philippines, you do not want to do any drugs in the Philippines. They severe punishment here for drugs. Even like a bag of marijuana, like I can tell you're a marijuana fan. Even marijuana is illegal in the Philippines. They treat marijuana here just like meth. You do not want to get caught here with any drugs at all. I mean, people used to get shot here for marijuana, carrying marijuana, and they can shoot you for that before, Now, we don't hear that as much now. But no drugs in the Philippines. That is the worst thing you can do in the Philippines, is do drugs here. Were you active duty then? Never forget, the real heroes. Yes, many heroes during that day, Daniel. It's like there were many people that sacrificed their life for others. That's the ultimate sacrifice. I was still in school then. I remember what happened when they canceled the classes. My friend messaged me in the morning, and I thought he was quoting. Oh man, yeah. It's like I think those kind of events, there's only a few events like that in my life that I remember, like where I was, what exactly I was doing, and then when I was watching it, just unbelievable. It's like very. That day, that day is, one of those days where it feels like yesterday, feels like I can close my eyes and go back to that day, exactly when I first saw the news, first start watching the TV. I was on my way out of the service during 9/11. I'm picking multiple phone lines when I get there. Yeah, that's not, I know, like, I know they have eSIM now. I'm sure you can, I know I've had phones before, like, I know people had phones before where you can put multiple SIMs, eSIM. I'm sure there's a way to, like, eSIM, like, have two, have a smart, have a globe. I'm also with Smart, but Ayala owns Globe. It is, if you go to an Ayala mall, Globe works better. Oh, okay. All right, all right. That makes sense. That makes sense, Fortune. But like I said, I've been with Smart 14 years, and you know, um, I can't say that it's really improved service here in Aklan province or even Boracay or Calibo. I think I've been getting the same service all this time. I mean, it's like hit or miss. I'm not sure if they're adding more towers. It doesn't feel like it. It doesn't feel like it. That's why here I always tell people, just message me in WhatsApp. At least I can go find Wi-Fi somewhere and check, because I've had instances where I'm supposed to meet people in Calibo or in Boracay, and they're texting me on my cell phone, on my cell number that I gave them, and I'm not getting it. So I'm like, they message me, oh, I'm gonna be 30 minutes late, or something like that, and I don't get it. So I'm there waiting, and I'm like, okay, where's this guy? And then we figured out that it was because I wasn't getting their message. Some parts will have coverage over others, so it's best to get both to cover the blind side. Yes, plenty of blind side, unfortunately, here, HD, in Aklan province. And when you're driving here in Aklan province, when you go to the towns, especially the Ibahay area and the Nabas, the mountainous area, forget it. You hardly get any signal there. Thank you. Iraq and Afghanistan were overrated anyway. I am assuming you missed out the Iraq and Afghanistan deployments. HD. Some phones give you dual SIM, and now they have eSIMs. Correct, correct. And I still see people, of course, people keep like the older. I mean, you can still buy older phones here in the Philippines. It's like, I don't know if they're refurbished or old new stock. You can still buy stuff like that. So I still see people with the multiple dual SIM on their phone, and now the eSIMs is getting popular now. Some of us were shipped to the east, and other half, like me, was sent to the Balkans. Oh, that's right, that's right. That Balkans also during that time. Hey, Vegas Will, good morning, good spring. All right, good spring, and I have to watch Breaking Bad again, man, or Better Call Saul. I gotta watch that series again. I can rewatch it because like my memory is not that good anymore. So a lot of times when I'm watching it, it's like, I'll remember portions of the series, but there's stuff that, oh, I don't remember that scene, or I don't, I'm still eager to like what happens next. And they're my two favorite. Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul, and of course The Sopranos. The Sopranos is like my ultimate TV series. Fortune 9/11 in 20. I was working for BPI and got home from Fairview, done dinner. It was tense next day because we were seeing bond prices all red in Bloomberg. Oh, okay. Yeah, that definitely affected the financial markets, that time. I am grateful. I only have one bad habit: Coke, Diet Coke. That's it. All right. They do have, I've seen a Coke Zero here. Dan, I've never tried it. I'm not a big drinker of soft drinks or soda, but I have seen Coke, Diet Coke, Coke Zero, uh, Jack and Coke. They also have that. They got Jack Daniels and Coke here, man. Globe and Smart. You can pick any. There's no big difference. Yeah, I agree. I agree, Fortune. There's really no big difference. It's kind of like a coin toss. It's like they both have. They're both the same. The same. And you can get it the minute you land at the airport, Edgar. You can pick it up at the airport. They have a. You can, and the SIM cards, they're cheap. The SIM cards are like maybe 50, 60 pesos, like $1 for the SIM card. It's the load that you have to load on the SIM card. Like us, like I load like 300 pesos a month. Dazzle loads 300 pesos a month on her phone. So all total, we spend 600 pesos, about $12 for our cell phone per month. And we're the only ones mainly texting each other. Dazzle and I, when we get split up in Calibo, when she's doing something else, she'll text me. And then me, I would use like data, I would use data here when I'm out and about. I try to use Wi-Fi wherever I go, but there's just places where I can't find Wi-Fi, so I'll use my data on my phone. And you can get like there's like 60 pesos, like $1. It will give me like 3 days or like 3 gigabytes. So for 3 days, I'll have internet on my phone. So once in a while, I'll use that. Especially like if we're going to Rojas City tomorrow, I'll buy that. For 3 days, I'll have data because Google Map, now I'm pretty familiar with Rojas City, but just in case we like veer off somewhere in Rojas City that I'm not familiar, I can always do Google Maps. Coke, yeah, there it is, Coke Zero. All right. Thanks, Fortune. Thanks, Fortune. Good morning, Sir Gino. All right, hello. Thank you, hello. Do you know anyone who uses cellular bonding? Whoa, what's up, Totoy? You're okay? Totoy Bart. Cellular bonding. I'm not familiar with what cellular bonding is. HD. I'll have to I'm gonna take a picture. That way I can do a little research and see what that's all about. Cellular bonding. Sounds pretty cool. Cellular bonding. Sounds like a molecular cellular bond, something like that. Not like telecommunication. Sounds like body. At La Casa, do I need order Wi-Fi or just pay the monthly bill? You have options, Edgar. At La Casa, they have free internet. They have free internet for the whole building. So if you don't want to pay, but with free internet, of course, Edgar, the more people, it's a shared Wi-Fi. The more people use a Wi-Fi, the weaker the connection. My friend from Atlanta, he decided to get a separate, like from Calibo Cable, fiber optic, because he's doing a little bit of work online. He didn't plan on working online, but he was a computer programmer in the United States, so he's getting like kind of like a side gig. He's getting a side gig, so he decided to get Calibo Cable internet, same as me, fiber optic Calibo Cable, and it costs him, like me, $26 a month, 1,400 pesos. So I would try first the Wi-Fi, Edgar, the apartment Wi-Fi. See if you can get by with that. If not, like what's 26 bucks, But I know, it's like budget wise, people might want to watch their budget, but for me, it's I get 100 Mbps. I get 100 Mbps for that $26 a month. Good internet, same internet I'm using to do live stream, upload videos. Never had a problem. Edgar, who is your carrier in the US? How long will you be in the Philippines? My friend Alan is asking you, Edgar. My friend Alan. I think Edgar's here for the long haul. Edgar here is for the long haul. We'll see. I mean, that's why I'm so eager to like help him in the process, because I want Edgar to find peace and happiness here in our province of Aklan. Do they have official Apple stores there? Yes, Yes, HD. They have official Apple stores. Iloilo City's got one as SM City. Iloilo. Boracay has one, like a D Mall. Here in Calibo, unfortunately, no. Unfortunately, no. Rojas City, I'll have to check, but I'm almost sure this weekend we're gonna go to Rojas City, the SM Rojas Mall. I'm sure we're gonna hit that mall. I almost want to say they do have one there, but I don't want to give wrong information. But 100% they have one in Boracay. 100% they have a SM City, because I've been in it. I actually walked in and like checked out the new iPhones and all that. Coke Zero, still don't know why they store charge me for nothing. Zero, zero. They'll charge you, man. Nothing is free in the Philippines, Daniel. Heck, they charge you for ice, Daniel. They charge you for ice at 7-Eleven. You know how in the U.S. you got that machine, right? You just put ice, so it pours in there. No charge. Here they have cups. They have cups of ice that's stored in the freezer. And if you want a cup of ice, you have to pay 10 pesos. It's a business. 7-Eleven is a business, but nothing is free here. Nothing is free here, Daniel. Don't say Coke Zero. I know. I remember when we went to Malumpati, when we went to the river, I put on my cooler, I bought James like Coke Zero because I know he liked Coke Zero. They come here, Daniel, in a can. They come here in a can, and they have like the 1 liter plastic bottle of Coke Zero. I see it. I see it at 7-Eleven. T-Mobile, it works free with Wi-Fi. Ooh, that's good. That's a good phone to have then, Edgar. If you still have phone in the US, T-Mobile, if it can work on with the Wi-Fi. No Apple Store, just dealers. Oh, okay. Maybe I misquoted. Maybe I misquoted. HD. I thought it was the same. I thought an Apple Store and an Apple dealership is the same. Maybe I'm misspoken, but I have walked into an Apple store, or a dealer, or in D Mall in Boracay, and also at SM City. Those are the only two places where you can actually buy a brand new Apple iPad, all the watch, all kinds of things in there. Of course, we have employees on site, critical processes. Yes, Fortune, right? Power Mac is biggest Apple dealer here. I'm sure Fortune, they got that in Manila. In Manila, I'm sure they got. Indeed, that was a very troubling feeling, Fortune, especially when the Philippines uses the dollar as a reserve. Yeah. Alan, Edgar, if your device is dual eSIM, just get smart. And listen, Edgar, listen to Alan. Alan is like a telecommunications person in the US. He comes here to the Philippines. I think Verizon, but he works in telecommunications, Edgar. Alan McKay here. Apple devices are typically 200 to 4. Yes, they are more expensive. Anything like American goods, because they have a duty here. They 17%. I don't know if it's still 70%. Any products here from America, especially electronics, is going to be more here in the Philippines. It's called people here. That's when it comes from America. It's imported, including alcohol. Like the alcohols at 7-Eleven, the Jack Daniels, that's more expensive than in the U.S. If I buy that same bottle of Jack Daniels in the U.S., it's more expensive here in the Philippines because the duty tax. The Philippine government puts a duty tax on it, and then the shipping to it. Even everything you buy at SNR. For me, I don't mind paying the extra for SNR, the Filipino Costco. because it's products that I miss. You know, it's products that once in a while it's a treat for me to eat. You know, it's like I gotta have my Sweet Baby Ray. You know, I gotta have my Sweet Baby Ray barbecue sauce. You know, I have not found anything barbecue sauce here in the Philippines, Filipino barbecue sauce that compares to me anyway. That tastes the same. That I like. You know, I like my Sweet Baby Ray. You know, I gotta have my Sweet Baby Ray. You know, I use Sweet Baby Ray like ketchup. That's what like looks at me all the time funny because here in the Philippines, when they eat eggs with breakfast, like a tapsilog, long silog, you know, tapsilog is tapa, fried rice, fried garlic rice and egg, or long silog, longganisa, the sausage, fried rice and egg. People here put ketchup. You know, people will put ketchup in or vinegar. Vinegar or ketchup is usually the condiment. Man, I use my Sweet Baby Ray, man. You know, it's like I won't trade my Sweet Baby Ray compared to like a ketchup, especially here it's banana ketchup. You know, it's not real ketchup. It's not like tomato. You know, it's not like Heinz ketchup. You know, it's the banana ketchup here. So I like my Sweet Baby Ray. I like that little bite to my Sweet Baby Ray. Yes, Vaughn, but eventually it recovered. Much of the changes happened in the US, like homeland. Pinoys only get affected when you travel to the US. Gino, can you pay for more than 30 days prepay? Oh, yes. There's several, you know, for Smart or Globe, when you sign up for your phone, you can buy like the load, you can buy 30 days. They got several different programs. You know, I know they have several, you know, they want to keep your business. If you, there's a Smart, I guess, dealer office. It's by Liana's Kumon, where Liana does the Kumon on the second floor. On the bottom floor there is the Smart office, and you can do anything there with Smart. You can talk to them. They even have plan for like cell phones. You know, they'll have a iPhone there if you want to sign up a plan. You know, same program in the US where they tell you it's a free iPhone, but it really isn't, because you sign up for like 2 years or the length of the contract, or just your current phone, your unlocked phone. You know, they'll sell you a SIM. If you haven't bought a SIM yet at the airport, they'll sell you there. They'll sell you different types of programs. They want to lock you in, Daniel. You know, it's like if you're willing to pay for Smart for 30 days or 6 months or a year, you know, they want that business. You know, they're in competition here with Globe. And there's actually other phone companies, smaller ones, like TNT. I think TNT is part of Smart too. And then there's a new one, I think Dito, you know, like I said, I only know Smart because I've been with them for 14 years. And my number on this phone, you know, this is what people know to contact me. So I never change it. It is if I understand eSIM. eSIM? Yeah, I've never tried eSIM, Edgar, but I think maybe Dazzle knows about eSIM because she's got the newer iPhone, and I think she has eSIM on her iPhone. We'll figure it out, Edgar, when you get here. You know, we'll problem solve. We'll problem solve. Dang, I was hoping to get that 18 after getting there. Now I have to decide if I want to get the 17, since that's the latest. Then I'll have to worry about getting tax for it. Yeah. To me, HD, I would buy it there. You know, I would buy it there just because it's cheaper there. And then you don't have to worry. You know, I know they don't have fake stuff, but you never know. You know, you never know about the fake stuff. You know, I have not heard of fake iPhone here, but you never know. You know, it's like I would buy it in the US because you know it's guaranteed 100% original, the real deal. You know. Something like that, just because it costs so much, you know. It's like Daniel, there's prepaid or postpaid, but postpaid will require 2-year contract. Ooh, 2 years. I don't know if you want to sign 2 years, Daniel. Just can even get a that's a free phone. I know that's what that's what they try to get you, Daniel. Same in the U.S. Same, they'll tell you, oh, get a new free iPhone, but sign up a 2-year contract, and then by the time you pay the contract for 2 years, it's way past what the iPhone was worth. Same deal. They try to. That's why you see people here in the Philippines got iPhones. I know a lot of them are on contract. A lot of them are like paying that high amount monthly, but I have an iPhone. But I have an iPhone. That's the trouble with the Philippines now that I'm seeing. Not just with iPhones, not with motorbikes, with cars. The Philippines is turning to like America. It's turning to like how America is with credit. They're at the, I would say, they're not even the beginning. I would say they're in the middle. You know how in the U.S. everything's about credit. Everything's about credit. Here, it's starting to climb up to that. More and more people, I'm sure Fortune can attest to this, more and more people here in the Philippines are getting in trouble with credit. Not a dynamic that I would say when I was here in the 80s, all the way to 91, maybe even the year 2000, 2001, 2002, not the dynamic before about credit. But now it seems like it's so easy to get credit here. It's so easy to get a credit card here. I mean, they can't give you enough. You can go to the mall here at SM City Iloilo, and you can't walk like 2 steps, and people are like, "Sir, credit card, security card, Visa, Mastercard." They're like want to sign you up for a credit card, and with no credit checks. Because there's not a. It's not like in the U.S. Where you have like the credit reporting system, your score, you have like a rating score. There's none of that here in the Philippines. So they're just like taking a chance on people. I guess if you look professional enough, they'll hand you a credit card, because they know you can't run from it. That's the one thing here in the Philippines. If you get a credit card here and you accumulate debt on that credit card, you can't just jump ship. You can't just in the U.S. you might be able to file for bankruptcy. Here in the Philippines, they'll file charges against you. I think it's called, correct me if I'm wrong, Fortune, it's called estafa. If you borrow money here and you don't pay that debt, they're called estafa here, and they'll file it with the police, and they'll file it with the NBI, and you'll get arrested here. Unlike in the U.S., credit, it's kind of like, it's not a criminal offense. It's like a civil, you can file for bankruptcy. You can try to get away or make an agreement, pay a little bit at a time. Here in the Philippines, man, if you owe money and you sign a document that you owe money and you don't pay that debt, they're going to come after you here. You can't hide because in order for you to open the credit card, they're going to get 2 government IDs from you, like a national ID or driver's license or some type of ID where they can chase you. The Philippines got 7,000 islands, but they'll find you. You do not want. And then here, every time you apply for a job here, you have to get like police clearance. You got to get NBI clearance. So if those credit card companies file charges against you with the police or with the NBI clearance, you can't even get a job here. So people, they do take it serious here when they borrow money from like a lender company or a vehicle. That's why now I'm seeing so many repossession. That's what ends up happening. It's a repossession of like motorbikes, repossession on cars, repossession on houses. Here at Camellia, they got repossession of houses here. But like I said, it's the Filipinos are getting into the same trouble that Americans, that I saw when I was still living in America, where people overextend themselves, getting in too much debt. That is coming here to the Philippines now. That is happening here. That's happening here. The banks here or the credit card companies here are so loose about lending money. I do postpaid, then I just renew and get the free phone. All right. Well, you're busy. I know you're a busy man, Fortune. So I know you're always on the phone. I mean, you're a banker, man. You're like, you're wheeling and dealing, Fortune. So I know you're always on the phone. For people like me, I might do like one or two texts maybe every other day. My phone's not busy as far as like I like I said, I do more communication in Messenger and WhatsApp, and I can use Wi-Fi for that. FY, I was born in the USA, but I will be buried in the Philippines. Oh, you're funny, Daniel. Hopefully, many years. Hopefully, we're not going to talk about Barry in the Philippines. Leslie Wade, hello, Leslie. Thank you for joining the live stream from Tagaytay. Tagaytay City. I've been to Tagaytay City with Dazzle. We traveled there in 2022 with our car. We drove. We took the ferry with our car and we drove to Tagaytay City. We went to Tagaytay City. We went to like the Taal volcano where you can see from the Starbucks, Laguna, Batangas. We just did that whole area there. Power Mac is an official authorized Apple dealer instead of Apple setting up its own. All right. I'll have to look for that now, Fortune. Power Mac. I don't, not that I own a lot of Apple, but I kind of, it's kind of cool, And Dazzle loves the iPhone. Me, I have iPhone hand-me-downs. Like that. This one is like iPhone 11. I think this is an iPhone 10. I get hand-me-downs from people that, hey, Gino, I have an extra iPhone. I don't use it. I say, I'll take it. And I'm frugal. If I don't have to buy a new iPhone, I'm good with like somebody's hand-me-down phone. Cellular bonding is something you might want to look at as an option over Starlink. Ooh, uses GPS. Cell bonding uses multiple carriers. Wow. Yeah. I'm far from considering Starlink because I get by with the Kalibo cable paying 1,400. I think Starlink now starts at 3,800. So it's pricey, and then I have to buy the equipment, and so I'm a waste. I'm not, Starlink's, we live close enough to Kalibo, and our Wi-Fi here is pretty good at our subdivision. True. Leslie Wade, true. All right. Thank you, Leslie. And thank you for joining the live stream, Leslie. Tagaytay City. I wouldn't mind visiting Tagaytay City again, Leslie. I love their bulalo. The beef soup bulalo, really tender beef. Got the bone marrow with the you scoop out the bone marrow, and the beef in Tagaytay, the area, man. It's just. There's a market there. I forgot the name of the market, but the beef looks really nice. It's like look fresh, and the bulalo is excellent because it's a soup stock bulalo, and they put vegetables on it. That area is known for one of the best bulalo, if you want bulalo in the Philippines. For life. Gino, they've been charging for ice for many. Oh, I didn't know, Daniel. Like I said, good thing you're telling me this, Daniel, because I left in 2011, so I've been away from the U.S. for a while. Coke Zero's branding is black, while Coke Regular is red. It comes in a can. Yes, I've seen it. And 1 liter. I've seen the 1 liter. Hey, good morning, James. James and Karen from James and Karen's Adventures. We'll see each other tomorrow for sure at Rojas City at Lara's birthday for sure. Credit is bad. I know credit is bad, and Filipinos, James, they're getting in trouble. The same trouble that Americans got in trouble over the years. They brought it here. The Filipinos are. Filipinos always copy everything from America. So why not credit? Because I remember, James, when I was in the military here, when I was stationed at Clark Air Base, late 80s all the way to 91, I never heard of credit here in the Philippines. There was no Filipinos having credit cards here that I could remember. In Pampanga, in Angeles City, I have never seen like people with credit cards. And I know in the 80s, credit cards were already popular in the U.S. Loaning, financing a vehicle, financing financing motorbikes. In the Philippines, it used to be really the only the people with money that can buy a vehicle, that can buy. Now, it seems like they're willing to like give credit to anybody, even on the big cars, like the Ford Ranger, the Ford Raptor. These are 2 million peso vehicles, $36,000, $40,000, and like, the dealership can't give it away to Filipinos. It seems like I know I can walk over here in my neighborhood, and the trucks I see here, I was like, dang, it's like people got money over here, but the credit, they get in the credit. Filipinos are like quick to get credit and then not be able to pay, and then they get turned it back or repossessed, and you lose a ton of money. You lose a ton of money on that because your deposit, your down payment, on the payments that you made, you're losing all that once they repossess your stuff. Hi, Jeans. So we'll see you. We'll see you at the party tomorrow, I'm sure, James. And Karen. Gino, try Kinder's barbecue sauce and other sauces. Most are organic and good sauce. Checks. All right. I think I've saw several other. I don't know if I saw Kinder's at SNR. I just see the regular Kraft. I've seen that at the regular Kraft. I'll always go with my Sweet Baby Ray. There's always like different, but I haven't seen that Kinder's. I haven't seen that Kinder's at SNR. I'll look for it next time. I'll film it. Next time at SNR, I'll film like the barbecue sauce area, because when I go to SNR, I try to like film. Like the last time I filmed knives for a JP. He wanted me to film knives, so maybe this time I'll film like the barbecue section at SNR, and then any other section you guys want me to film at SNR. I'm pretty sneaky when I film at SNR. Just use my camera. I kind of walk slowly. I look at the aisles, make sure nobody's there, make sure no security, make sure no security. And I'll like film. I'll talk for I'll do like maybe 45 seconds to 1 minute, the longest, and then I'll cut. Then I'll walk again and look for another aisle, because security will tap you if you're like, you can't film here, sir. They will tap you if. Trouble in credit card in urban areas, but not in rural areas. It is starting to here. Fortune, I know in urban like Manila, Cebu, of course, people can get, but even here in Iloilo City, Fortune, if the minute you walk at SM City, Iloilo, there's like they hound you. Fortune. There's like, sir, we're gonna give you a free bag, we're gonna free umbrella or whatever. They give you the application for a credit card. Like I said, I finally had to say, I don't want credit card, and I don't have any credit cards here. I had one with my bank before, a Filipino credit card, peso credit card here, but I got rid of it because, like, again, I just don't trust credit cards, just because all the theft, all the problems that arise from credit cards. I just don't, I use Gcash and cash. My ATM, Gcash, and I no more credit cards for me. I'm done with that. But like I said, they're giving it away here. Even here in Calibo now, I know if you go up like the second floor at Grand Gaisano, where all the cell phone companies are, I have seen like a credit card company there, like handing out their application and trying to get you on their credit card. And then not only that, there's also another, what is that, Fortune, that home credit. That's another one. It reminds me in the US back in the day where you can go to like appliance store in the United States, like Sears or Montgomery Wards or JC Penney, and they'll get you a credit card with them. And they have high rates. Same thing here in the Philippines is happening. It's called home credit. I mean, home credit is like, you apply for home credit and they're selling you a washing machine. They're selling you like a new oven. I mean, even helmets, like motorcycle helmets. You know how some motorcycle helmets are expensive, in the thousands of pesos, for the big bikes, I guess. They even do home credit for a helmet. I was like, but like I said, they're pushing Filipinos to get credit here. And then a lot of times it's a status symbol too for Filipinos, like I got a credit card, I got a kind of thing, but they don't know what trouble credit card is. They haven't learned. Vegas will, good morning guys. All right. Alan McCahew. But it's a big problem here in the Philippines, and unfortunately the government here, they're not educating people here as far as like credit is horrible, and they're basically taking an advantage of all the people here that just don't know how much damage credit will do to their lives. And then the interest rates here are ridiculous. It's like if you buy like a motorbike here on credit or a car here on credit, crazy interest rates here. By the time, if you buy 100,000 peso or under $2,000 motorbike here, if you buy it on credit here in the Philippines, by the time you pay that motorcycle off in like whatever years they put you in, 3, 4, 5 years, whatever plan they put you on, you're gonna be paying over 200,000 pesos, twice the price of a motorbike. But Filipinos will get it, because like Filipinos, they're like, oh, I want the bike. I want the bike. So, ooh, I got a new bike, but that new bike feeling or that new car feeling, that fades away fast. You might enjoy it the first month, but after that, that becomes a used bike. That becomes a used car, and the price depreciates on that motorbike. I mean, I can go right now, even here in a little town of Numancia. There's a motorcycle dealership here, Yamaha dealership. I go there for like battery, oil, whatever parts I need. I can go there right now, and there's a dozen repossessed bikes there. So I know it's a problem. Here in our province, here in our little town of Numancia, it's gonna be a problem here nationwide. People got to get smart on this credit thing, but I don't see a lot of ads for like helping like credit education for Filipinos. I don't see it. I don't see the trouble that you can get into credit here. And then on top of that, it's like there's an explosion here in the Philippines of gambling. Gambling's always been big here in the Philippines. There's online gambling here. They call it online sabong. Sabong is like the cockfighting. So there's online gambling here. There's numbers here that you can bet on numbers every day, and kind of like a lotto. Casinos are like popping up everywhere. There's so many casinos now in Manila, in Angeles City. I mean, you tie those two, credit and then gambling, man, it's like those are like the two worst combinations regarding finances and money. And unfortunately, Filipinos are being trapped in those situations. FYI, mobile carriers in the US will lock the device for at least 60 days if you buy it from them. Suggestion, buy an iPhone directly from Apple, full price, and then bring it with you. Less hassle. Listen to Alan. This is our telecommunications expert here. He knows what he's talking about here. That's why I always tell people, just come to the Philippines with an unlocked phone, ready to accept the SIM card or eSIM, and then you're good. You start from there, and then James and Karen. James, all right. One of the best pieces of advice I ever got from my grandparents was never use credit. Amen, brother. Amen. I mean, that's why I do not know, even I had a credit card in the US for many years since I got here. I wasn't using it. I just had it as an emergency, just in case I have to fly back to the US and I need to rent a car in the US. I just kept it, but I never used it, so I decided to even X that. I don't have a credit card anymore with my bank in the US because I'm just afraid. I'm just afraid that my number gets stolen, my account gets stolen. I know HD had even mentioned it's easier there in the US. You can just make one phone call and you're good. They lock out everything. here in the Philippines, it's a nightmare. If your credit card ever gets stolen here or anything to do with credit card companies here, it's not the same service in the United States. I learned it, because I closed that account. My only credit card here, I closed it last year, 2024, and somehow somebody made a charge on March 2025. Over a year later, somebody made a charge on the card that I closed. I even cut the card. And so that was a problem. I should have, before I cut the card, I should have written the card numbers down, because it was a hassle just calling the credit card company, telling them, hey, how come, I closed the account, you verified that the account is closed, and they tell me on the phone, oh yes, the account is closed, sir. There should not have been a charge on the credit card. So why am I getting these messages on my phone, on my email, saying that a charge was made, 3,500 pesos on my card? And then every month they kept sending me notices that pay this amount, and they were increasing from 3,005 to like this month, August, it went up to like 8,000 pesos. It would keep increasing every month. I would call the credit card company here. Oh, it was our mistake. It went to we had transferred the account to our collection agency. I'm like, what? So now a collection agency is after me here from an account that I already closed. So man, it was a nightmare. Finally, I got the text like about a week and a half ago. My balance is now zero, closed account. They said, thank you for your payment. And I'm like, I didn't pay anything. So whatever they did, they fixed it, but I'm not going to go through that again. I will never open a credit card again here in the Philippines. Edgar, be careful. Lot of US cell phones don't work in the Philippines, or the charge high. Yes, that I know. Like, I have seen people here on vacation and they tell me about the high roaming charges here in the Philippines. Yeah, if you don't buy the international, that I know. Edgar is correct. I've had friends of mine, my friend from Hawaii, when he comes here, well, he can afford it, but still, it's like, I know it's a lot of money, it's a lot of money. Estafa is like swindling, right? I've heard that term, estafa. It's a bad thing. It's a bad thing. I often hear that with people like borrowing money. If you don't pay them back, they'll file like estafa charges against you. Do you have credit companies like Experian, TransUnion, Equifax? What is it? There's no such thing at HD that I know of. Correct me if I'm wrong, Fortune. There is not a credit score for Filipinos here. The main thing that they give credit to Filipinos here is they know they can find you, because they're going to require 2 government IDs, your job, where you work. You can't run from credit here. If you get a credit card and you get in debt in credit card, I don't think you can even file for bankruptcy here. You're going to end up paying that credit card. You can't run, or else you'll have a permanent record here with the NBI, National Bureau of Investigation. You'll have a permanent record that you don't want, because that's a problem when you have to apply for job, passport, anything. Nobody wants to have a criminal record. It's like nobody wants that. HD. Gcash, LOL, right? That's all I do, man. Gcash and cash. My ATM, I don't even, I'm so scared now, or because here in the Philippines, online banking, I used to online bank in the Philippines. I used to online bank with my Filipino bank account. I still online bank with American Bank, because I feel that's more secure, American Bank. The Philippine Bank, I don't even do Philippine Bank online anymore. I use my ATM and I withdraw money from my ATM. I go to like the cash in. I used to be able to like go in my online Banco de Oro account, PNB account, move money to my Gcash, right? I could do that. I don't even do that anymore. I'm afraid that, these websites aren't secure enough that they can get my account. So basically, I load my, I deposit my check, and I move money around using my ATM. And then when I have to load my Gcash, I actually have to get money at the ATM. I'll have cash, and I go to like the centers here. They call it cash in, cash out, Gcash. They're everywhere. They're everywhere here. Even some sari store do a cash in or cash out. I go there. I hand them my load po. I'll load 5,000 pesos and I'll pay their fee. Usually it's like 60, 80, 100 peso, whatever their fee, and I pay it and they load my GCash. I know it's an expensive process. It would be easier for me to transfer it online, but I just don't trust online banking. I don't trust the credit cards. I don't trust online banking. That's just me. That's just me. It's like I do not, because I've seen so many people that their money got stolen somehow. So now Dazzle and I, we've actually gone back to actual paper passbook. We got bank passbooks now with our dollar account, with our peso account. We actually go to the bank and we have passbooks to withdraw money. That's how I went back. Man. You know how in the U.S. everything's electronic, right? You swipe everything. Nobody carries cash. Here in the Philippines, man, I'm going old school. I'm going old school. I'm going back to cash, man. I'm going back to cash. All right, hold on. My dog wants to go out. Lowell, my good friend in Oregon. Kumusta? Mabuti ako, Lowell. God bless, brother. Keep at it, Lowell. You gotta get healthy, brother. I know you mentioned you're losing weight, you're doing things. Get healthy. Make sure you're healthy. Make sure you got all your medical done in the U.S. before you even consider coming to the Philippines. But don't give up, man. Do your thing. Edgar, Power Mac is nice, but I'm too cheap. See, I'm too cheap too. Me and you, Edgar, I'm too frugal too, man. That's above my pay grade. The Power Mac, Someday, once I get my Social Security, less than 3 years now, I might be able to afford those things. Average American credit card debt is $7,000. Had a call from a really good, that sounded like an actual person, but as we went with the car, I gave weird vibes when I mentioned 7K debt. I hung up. Hey, I can't blame you, HD. If you get a weird vibe, it's like I said, man, I just went away from all that, online, our credit card. Dazzle and I went back to old school, man. We got like a paper passbook that we carry to the bank, ATM. We'll go to the teller and tell them, move, if we got big chunks of money, here's my passbook, load it in my ATM, that kind of thing. My plan is Signature M 1500 with Smart. That means I pay 1,500 a month, 10 gigabytes, any unused data roll over to the next month. Free call, that's not bad. I mean, for 1,500, that's about, $30. That's not bad. Mahogany Market. Yes, that's the one. Thank you. I couldn't remember. Mahogany Market, right? They got like the bulalo restaurants upstairs. Downstairs, they had all the fresh beef, on display. They look fresh because they're like red. They don't look dull. The meat don't look dull. And then right across, it's like all the fruit. They even have like the coffee, like the Batangas coffee. I remember that place. That was like a nice place to visit. I love eating at that Mahogany, eating bulalo there. I could do that again. Man, I could do that again. I miss that place, man. The AI had the American accent intonation, but it was pretty robotic when I asked them to repeat what they said. There is also a delay in response. Scary when the processing gets faster. I know, right? Man, that's like Terminator kind of, that's the Terminator, they're going through this AI thing. Will be hard. I'm sure there will come a time when they sound like a real person. the good thing is I don't have to make phone calls like that anymore because I don't really have a lot of communication anymore with any things, in America anymore. The repo market must be in high in the Philippines because I watch a blogger that films the cars going up. Yes, repo is real here in the Philippines. I know that because if I can see repossessions here in the province, this is rural. These are farmers, fishermen. This is rural area. Aklan is rural, and if I'm seeing repossessions here, I can imagine the repossessions in the city here, like in Manila, Cebu City, Iloilo City. I'm sure it's got like a high repossession. Like I said, Edgar, Filipinos don't have a high understanding on how credit works. A lot of Filipinos I know, they think that when they get a credit limit, they think it's their money. It's like if they get like 200,000 peso, 300,000 peso credit limit, they think it's their money. Oh, I got 150,000 more to spend. I'm like, dude, you don't got 150,000. That's debt. That's debt that you're incurring. Hey Gino, can you visit the Calibo Public Market and show us the prices? Right now, the Calibo Public Market is being renovated. They demolished it. They flattened it. Now I see this big, like arches, like metal arches. Looks like 3 or 4-story building that they're doing in Calibo. So right now, the public market is spread out. There is one I can go, like I filmed it before, the Juliana Market Mall. Not as big as the public market. And if I go down the street, there's one street by MMG, I think it's a medical clinic. A whole street, I would say about 100 yards is a street, and they put vendors on both sides, like but man, I don't want to go to that place, man, just because I'm immunocompromised. I want to try to avoid crowd for one thing. I would have to wear a mask. It is hot. There is no shade. Tons of people, and just it's that hectic, man. It's like I try to stay away, because I'm still, recovering from cancer. I'm immunocompromised. I avoid crowds, So unfortunately, I would not be able to do your request. When the new public market opens, when they finish the construction, definitely, I'm curious anyway. When they finish that, I will film that. And then I have to be careful because at the public market, people kind of look like, what are you filming? But if, like people, I don't want to get stares like that. I've done a video before of the public market in Calibo, and people had even told me, why are they looking at you? Why are they staring at you, Gino? Well, because I'm filming. That's not a common thing that they see here. There's not a lot of vloggers that I know of here in Calibo, and there might be vloggers here, but maybe they'll speak Aklanon or Tagalog, but not many speak English. And that's the thing with me when I film around Calibo, they immediately look, because I'm speaking English, because you guys are my viewers. My focus is like, people coming here, people in America to watch our videos. People around here, we don't, even on our channel, not a lot of Filipinos, like locals, watch our channel, just because the content I give out is for people coming here, retiring here with pensions, But when the new market opens, Kim, I will do that. Once they finish construction, that hopefully it's gonna be nice. It's brand new. It's gonna be a brand new building. Fortune, when a place has plenty of banks, there'll be lots offering credit cards. That's part of their CRA's key result area. Oh, okay. I just noticed them, Fortune, like at the mall. The mall, when at the entrance of the mall, there's always like a kiosk, kiosks that, and they're aggressive. They're aggressive. They gonna come to you, and they usually, oh, we got a free bag, we got a free umbrella. I'm like, free umbrella just for filling out the application. I'm like, no, thank you. Then other credit companies outsource and hire company agents to market their credit cards. Store cards. Vaughn says store cards. Daniel, it's insane that the US allows store credit card to charge 30 to 35%. And I would not be surprised, Daniel, if that's how Home Credit, that company, how I know their interest rates are like exorbitant because way high because a lot of times they're targeting people that low income people. It's like unfortunately that's what happens, right? They always target like low income people because they don't know any better to pay like high interest rates. Motorcycle auto credit on add-on rate. So selling price adjusted for add-on rate, then divide by number of months to pay to determine the monthly payments. I know like the shorter the years, the bigger the amount. So the more they extend the years on the payments, the lower the low. But you end up paying 5 years for a motorcycle that might not be running at 5 years. You might be still paying on a motorcycle that's gonna be dead already. If you don't, if you take care of it, should last. But a lot of times the motorbikes here, they're beat down in the sun. They're parked outside the mall. Maybe when you're at home you can park it inside your home, but when you're outside, there's no motorcycle parking here. Not a lot of shade. A lot of times people park it on the sidewalk, even in Calibo. You've seen my videos where I'm filming. It's like on the sidewalk where you're walking, they park their motorcycles. But the sun, the combination of the sun, the combination that we're close to the ocean, it gets rusted. If you don't have a garage or you don't keep your motorbike inside the house, it's gonna get rusted here. It's gonna get old quick. That sun, it'll fade everything on the motorbike. Like even on Bumblebee, everything on it is like faded now. But at least Bumblebee's like 9 years. I've gotten my money's worth with Bumblebee. The motorbike I have is a 2016 Yamaha Mio. I only paid like 72,000 pesos, about $1,300. So 9 years, I've gotten way, past the, it's, what I paid for it. I got my money's worth already. Right now, it's just extra. It's just extra whatever I get from Bumblebee. Credit card monthly charge here is 3%. So if you annualize it, it's like at least 36% per annum. Think about that, man. Think about the fortune. Daniel, look at that. 36% on a credit card per annum. That's ridiculous. 36%. And people are getting credit cards still. It's like, that's horrible. Why would you get like a credit card for 36%? And I've just added up the payments I've seen from videos, and no buying anything on credit bad in the Philippines. Amen, Edgar. When I see people buy a motorbike here or a car here on credit, I just shake my head, Edgar. I just shake my head. I was like, dude, what are you doing? What are you doing? It's like, just take public transportation. There's so many tricycles, public transportation here. Don't buy a motorbike. But I see it. I see it all the time, man. That driving around and Facebook. Here's my new motorbike. It's like I see it all the time. It's so unfortunate that Filipinos don't understand credit. And the thing why Pinoys get buried from credit card bill is because credit card companies allow you to pay the minimum only and not in full. So they get charged 3% unpaid. Yeah, it's the same fortune in the US, like in the credit cards. The Americans know this. If you're paying like the minimum payment, your credit's gonna be like, it'll just increase. It's not even every month. If let's say you owe $5,000 and you're paying the minimum, instead of your credit card getting lowered every month by a little bit, it actually increases a little bit. So if you keep paying minimum, you'll be in debt for your entire life. And then if you get multiple cards, forget it. You'll never get out of the credit card debt. If people in the community can work together, they can do community credit pooling. It has to be done within trustworthy group of people. People contribute to pool and borrow from it. Oh, that's never going to happen here, HD. Nobody trusts anybody here when it comes to money. Unfortunately, actually, one thing in the Philippines, when it comes to money, don't trust anyone. This is like Filipinos are kind, they're polite, they're good people, helpful people. But when it comes to money, man, I would not trust money. A pooling of money, that money will disappear. Somebody will steal that money. Somebody's gonna take advantage. That's not never gonna happen here. The pooling of borrowing money, that's not gonna happen here. I mean, people here, scams are always happening here in the Philippines. Money scams, business scams. Like somebody, collecting money from people, then all of a sudden that person disappears. That happens here constantly, HD. People, for money here, I would not trust my money to anybody here in the Philippines. Pay in full. I always pay in full. Yes, that's the same way I was doing with my credit card. I only kept the credit card fortune when I had the one bank here in the Philippines, for airline reservations, hotel reservations, because they say it's easy with a credit card, right? So at the end of the month, I always pay my full amount, no interest charges, right? But to me, I can do that with GCash. I can do that with cash. So why even have a credit card? Why even take that chance of my number getting stolen? And it can, this, if you use your credit card like at a hotel, whatever business here, who no telling who can access your credit card number and all of a sudden charge on your credit card. So I do not trust it, and it's not just I don't trust it here. I don't trust it in the US either. That's why I closed my credit card in the US. I just do not trust credit anymore. With all the hackers now, all the sophisticated methods they can steal money online, I do not trust it. Yes, Edgar, having a credit card is okay if you're disciplined to pay in full every month billing. I am that for my career. Yes, yeah, I know Fortune knows the deal, because he's a banker, I know he's like responsible with credit. He understands it, but most Filipinos don't understand. Most Filipinos, I bet you, when they buy a motorbike here or car brand new, if you ask them, try explain to me what you're paying. They could not tell you. All they will tell you here is like, ooh, zero down payment. They go, zero down payment, I'm in. That's and that's how they get you, right? That's zero down payment. You can drive off with a motorbike today. That's how they get you. That's how they get people in the US. Oh yeah, and don't forget about the membership fees on the credit cards. That's usually like 4,000 pesos a year. So even if I don't use my credit card, right, they have a 4,000 peso membership fee. And that's why I decided, when I called them, they were like, they were going to charge me. I knew my membership fee was coming up. I knew they were going to charge me. And so I called them. I'm just going to cancel the card. I don't need the card. And of course, what they tell me. Oh, sir, we can waive the membership fee. You don't have to pay the membership fee. I said, no, I don't want the credit card anymore. Please close my account. But why weren't they offering me free membership before I was closing my account? How come when I'm closing the account, all of a sudden, you don't have to pay membership fee anymore? I was like, from stores, restaurants, etc., cashback, e-gifts once you reach a spending threshold. I remember that, Fortune, with my one credit card, I was earning points, right? And they were even telling me when I was closing the accounts, they said, oh, sir, but you have so many points. You're going to lose these points if you close the account. Close it. I said, close it, close it. I don't need the points. Keep your points. It allows people to afford something they normally can't buy, pooling their money together. It's risky if some member... that, like I said, HD, pooling any money here in the Philippines, no Filipino will trust anybody here. If I have to give my money to somebody here and look at our HOA. HOA alone, they can't trust each other. We hired a company that collects our HOA. My neighborhood here, they don't even trust each other with that. Like nobody's paying, or did they count my HOA? It's like I'm keeping all the receipts. I'm keeping all the receipts on my, to prove that I pay every month. Every single handwritten receipts. I have a collection of it. It's just different here. It's just different here, HD. Money here, man, is the Philippines. When it comes to money, you just do not want to trust anybody here when it comes to money. Probably the same in the U.S. though, right? I mean, there's crooked people. There's crooked people everywhere. I don't have a lot of money. My pension is limited. I got to be careful with my money, man. The financial report state Americans owe over $1 trillion in credit card debt. I believe that. I believe it, Daniel. I remember. Multiple credit cards in the U.S. That's common. That's common to have multiple credit cards. There's a cow auction in Padre Garcia town in Batangas. So, okay, that's why. It's impressive when I went to that mahogany market. You're looking at that beef, Fortune. You could tell it's like, freshly slaughtered. You can tell how fresh the beef is. And when you buy the bulalo, you can tell. It's like, it's not. A lot of times beef. Here. Oh, my dog's barking. That's a signal. Yeah, you want to stick on me. All right, Tony. Usually here, like at the public market here, they'll have a slab of beef, ribs, whatever, and they'll be hanging. And, they try to sell it the whole day because, it probably won't be good the next day because there's no refrigeration. But it just don't look as fresh that when I saw at Mahogany Market. Good morning, TextPad, my good friend in Galveston County, Texas. All right, TextPad. Don't let people use you as a bank. The stuff that they borrow is their money. You'll never see it again. Yeah, I'm done. I've lost money already here, HD, lending people money. I don't lend money anymore. I don't even mind now if people tell me, usually when you don't lend people money here, they'll never talk to you again because the feeling is they're feeling like you have so much money and you didn't let me borrow you. We're not friends. That's the kind of thing. The ones that I want to keep the friendship, if they're asking me for 20,000 pesos or something like that, they want to borrow 10,000 pesos, I'll just give them 1,000. It's like, because I don't want to lose the friendship over that. I'll just say, here's 1,000, man. Just donate it to the cause. You don't have to pay me back, but I can't lend you 10 or 20,000 because I'm not rich. But that's the thing here with Philams, with expats. They think we're all rich here. They don't understand that we're all living on a budget. We're all just trying to get by. We're all trying to make sure we're saving for our future, for my family's future, for Leanna's college, because people here don't save for that. Not all, don't get me wrong. I know Fortune, I know he's saving money for his kids and all that, but majority of people, like in the rural areas here, they're just trying to put food on the table every day. They ain't thinking about college fund, or they don't even have insurance. They don't even have medical insurance. It's like it's just like kind of like paycheck to paycheck kind of thing. But if you ever, that's one thing. Everybody that I've met that lent money here in the Philippines, expats, foreigners, Philams, it don't matter. You lose money here if you keep lending money. You'll never see it. I like the weekend market that was on the street, if I remember. Yes, they still kind of have that. They have but it's hot, Edgar. You got to get there like me when I filmed it. That's like at 6 a.m. You got to get there early because anytime like right now it's like 8:54. It is hot outside already. So anything past 8:30 on an open street, like a farmer's type market, you can bring an umbrella, you can bring a hat, you're gonna be sweating. And that's the first thing you're gonna notice anyway, Edgar, when you come here, the amount of sweat that you're gonna be doing here because your body's not used to. Like me, I'm sitting here, I got the fan, but I would sweat without the fan. So I have that, so I'm okay. But I can tell my body temperature is warm. I'm not cool. So for you, I know, Edgar, the minute you get here, for about the next year, just expect to sweat a lot. You're gonna be sweating a lot. Carry a towel, have whatever you gotta do. You're gonna be sweating. I noticed that with most foreigners here. My friend Gray, he's like, me and Dazzle are looking at him, dude, you sweat a lot. We give him a hard time because like we're not even doing anything. We're eating at a restaurant, in an air-conditioned restaurant, he's still sweating because your body takes time to adjust to this heat, this humidity. I mean, there's only so much you can do as far as avoiding the heat and humidity here. Like, when I pick you up in our car had AC, you're good in the car. When you get to your apartment, you can run your AC in the apartment, you're good. When you go to the mall, but even just coming out of your apartment, getting into the car, going to the mall, the little time you're outside, you're gonna be sweating. So be prepared. Be prepared to sweat in the Philippines. Nice. I didn't know they were doing renovation. Thank you for the update. Hopefully the public market renovation's finished, but unfortunately it's not gonna finish December this year. This is island time, brother. It's like island time takes a long time. I think they were saying by end of next year. I think that's the prediction, but it's not gonna even finish by end of next year. No, nothing finishes here on time. Everything's gonna be pushed. Everything's gonna be pushed later. Projects have a tendency, like road projects, anything really that they're constructing here, usually financial budget issues. It's like nothing gets done here on time unless it's like San Miguel Corporation, unless it's a private company building something, because they're gonna charge people like a toll fee. That has a good chance of getting finished on time. But any government project here, nope. It's not going to get finished on time. They got a big scandal now of the Department of Public Works that, they're stealing like millions of dollars, That's why the projects never gets done on time, because people are stealing the money. Finished by December this year. Oh, you're coming from Canada. All right, visiting for a month. All right. Let us know, Kim, when you visit here. Be happy to show you around. HD, maybe I'll be the Aklano English. Hey, there you go, HD. Come over here. You need the Aklano English blogger, man. You don't have competition. I know that because I know there's a popular guy here. He vlogs in Aklanon. I think it's called Pobreng something. I mean, he's got like 1 million subscribers, I think, but he's big, but he speaks in Aklanon. That will be your competition. That'll be your competition. Pobreng Aklanon, I think, is his YouTube channel. I'm not sure though, but he's big. He's big here. He gives out like news. He gets a heads up, like the news people in Calibo gives him a heads up of any news event here, because he's always like, when a newsworthy story happens, he's always there. He's always reporting. I think he had like he was part of the radio station here too in Calibo at one time. Yeah, if you like your privacy too much, forget YouTube. I wouldn't do YouTube, man. YouTube is not for some, if you're a private person, don't do it. Good AM, Joe, good AM. Do you know if the local Toyota accept American credit cards to purchase a vehicle? Probably not. They do accept credit card maybe for service, but to purchase a car, probably not. I can check the next time I go to the Toyota dealership, but that might be too big an amount. Too big an amount. But I will ask the next time I have found, like when Jack was here, he was trying to purchase a motorbike using his American credit card. He couldn't purchase we went to a couple of dealerships here, motorcycle dealership, and there was an issue with his American credit card to purchase a motorbike here. That's why he just got tired of like that stuff here. He left for Thailand. He said, he didn't have the patience. for the Philippines. Same in the States, keeping up with the Joneses, right? Yeah, that is a problem here, Joe. That is a problem here because, the thing with Filipinos, they want that nice house in a gated community like this, like we live in Camellia Aklan. They want that brand new vehicle, the brand new truck. And then come to find out their income, they might be an overseas Filipino worker working on a ship or something, but their job is not guaranteed. If they get ill, if they get sick, like a seaman working, while they're working in a boat, they're making good money. They can afford this lifestyle. But if something happens, they get injured, they get sick, and they have to come back here and not have work like that overseas for a year or two. They're going to end up losing their house. They're going to end up losing because there's no insurance to support. They don't have any other income. I see it all the time with motorbikes, cars, and even houses. I see it all the time that people all of a sudden lose it because they can afford what they purchased. Keeping up with the Joneses. Good morning, Gino, the heart of our home. Good morning. When I retired, me and my wife downscaled to one car. Yes. And the same thing with me. When I moved back to the Philippines, I knew I was gonna live on my military pension loan. I definitely downsized. I had one suitcase, one backpack, and I bought a mountain bike. I rode a mountain bike my first 3 years in the Philippines, 2011 to 2014. Rode my mountain bike. That was my vehicle here in the Philippines. Definitely that downsized from my life in America. That's why I was able to save. I was able to put away money. I figured it out fast that, hey man, I can live here. I won't be living in the lap of luxury, but it was good for me. It's the life that I wanted after living in the US for over 30 years. Yeah, mom said it's hot outside. See, mom's even coming inside. She's just like sweating because mom's been doing laundry outside and she said it's just hot. I mean, it's 9 a.m. It's like super hot outside. It's got to be over 90 degrees outside. Humidity, at least 70-75% humidity. It is hot. Like I'm here, I got two fans. I got a desk fan, I have a ceiling fan, and without the fan, I'd be sweating. And I feel warm. It's the air is just warm right now, because it rained all night last night. Now the sun is beaming, so that humidity is the one that's getting us today. You can trust me with your life, but not with your money or your hello. Is that an old army saying, Daniel? That's funny. Hey man, here in the Philippines, man, you can't trust anybody here with your money. That's like a losing game. That'll be one of the biggest mistake you make here in the Philippines, is to trust anybody here with your money. Can I trust you? Keep on on. I don't know if you can trust Daniel with your beer, Edgar. I don't know if you can. Southern Cal, Benny. All right, Gino, you're well off than most Pinoys. You have a house, a car. I know that. Southern Cal, Benny. Do not take that for granted. Like I said, I have a house, I have a car, I have a tricycle. I'm like, that's. I know I'm well, that's why I live a good life here. I don't try to compete with anybody. Like I said, I no longer have any wants or needs. I don't want a new laptop. I don't need, the solar thing was a nice idea. If I can get I'm not going to spend more than $2,000 on it to just get us like free energy. It'd be cool to have, but I'm not in a rush to get it. It's like, I know right now I can actually splurge more now because I have a nice nest egg. My Social Security is only less than 3 years down the road. I know I can use more of my pension. I can use my monthly pension. I can spend more now. But I guess because I've been doing it for 14 years, that I've been frugal. I like staying frugal, But Even Dassel's told me she has noticed that my frugalness has been lighter now. She's able to spend more. I don't, before I tell Dassel, babe, is that a need or a want? That's our joke for each other. It's like, babe, is that a need or is that a want? So but now I'm more easing up on her want. The things that she want. We're able to purchase a lot of the things that she want instead of the need. Were you Jody, the songs, the military that we sang about? Jody. Most folks from the West know you have to plan for your needs, medical care. By far, most Filipinos are, yeah, they are, man. Here, it's not that you're clueless, Daniel. It's just they don't have the income. They just don't have the income that the U.S. has. The income here is still low. There's only so much you can do. I'll give you an example. My brother-in-law, he's been working in Boracay for at least 10 years. He's been working at the Henan Hotel. He's like one of those guys in shorts, nice shirt, always groomed, assist the guests at the hotel. Henan is a nice resort, 5-star hotel. So he's busy all day, works 12 hours a day, 6 days a week, right? Getting towels for people, working the buffet line, being maintenance, doing whatever they want him to do. And he's been working there for 10 years, right? And his income is still less than, I would say, less than $250 a month. I mean, there's only so much, for the last 10 years, he's been like so loyal, so dedicated to the job. And that's his income. He can provide for his wife and kids, so he's happy. But, he's aging. You're just gonna age, and it's hard to accumulate anything. But it is what it is. He's not a college graduate, unfortunately. That's what happens. That's what happens in the Philippines. A lot of people are on dead-end jobs. Jobs that they work 10, 15, 20 years and barely pay raise every year, just enough to put food on the table. But insurance, forget it. No money for insurance. No money for insurance. Yes, HD, any credit card affiliated with Visa or MasterCard. Mama, can't you see what the Army did? Oh yeah, I remember. Mama, can't you see what the Army did for I remember all that, Jody. We had that in the Air Force too. When we're marching, when we're running. I forget them now. It's like, man, I went to basic training in 1984. That's like, woo, that's a long time ago, man. That's like 41 years ago. I was in basic training. I don't remember that far back. I don't remember that far back. Especially the songs, the military song, the Jodies. I grew up without air conditioning in the Philippines, but after 35 years of having central air in the US, I was so uncomfortable when I came for a visit 8 years ago. Yes, you were sweating, right? Southern California, you were sweating. Even I, it's like I've been here 14 years and I sweat. It's like less now than I used to. My body's adapted more. Like I said, when we're hanging out with my friend Gray, eating at a restaurant, he's sweating and Dazzle and I are not, but we're not like cold or we're not cool. You can still feel the warmth in the air. It's Pobreng Vlogger, that's it. Pobreng Vlogger, he's huge here. He's big here, HD. Archie Hilario, thank you. I've watched his videos, so that you see him here on my Facebook. I think I'm a follower of his on Facebook because he reports. He does the reporting on newsworthy events here in Aklan. Yeah, he's been around. He's a great blogger. Edgar, your beer is safe with me because I don't drink. All right, but your Coke Zero, in danger. Coke Zero is in danger. I'm thinking Manila Toyota dealership, but provincial may not. Yeah. Manila maybe. See, Fortune, I'm glad you're on the I'm glad you're here, Fortune, because I know like some of the dealerships here don't even take credit cards. Heck, some hospitals here don't take credit cards. That's the thing that surprises me sometimes. Places that you expect them to take credit cards, but they don't. All right, thank you. Hey, Judy, why don't you leave her alone? Stay away from my home. Ain't no use in calling. All right, man. I'm surprised you remember. Man, I don't remember any of the Jodies we did. We did in the Air Force, man. Like I said, 41 years ago. My memory's not that good. Edgar, the Coke Zero is mine. James said the Coke Zero is mine. All right, I got to the bottom here, so we're getting close. 2 hours is always my limit. I try to keep it in 2 hours. Many OFWs work 2 to 3 years and send all their money home. They work overseas, send all their money home. That's a dynamic that happens to a lot of Filipinos. Yeah, you gotta trust that I've heard that story too, Daniel, where the Filipino goes overseas, sends all the money here to the relatives, the wife, whoever, and work many years overseas and come home and find out that the money was blown. That happens. That's why I'm saying you don't trust anybody with your money, man. When it comes to money in your future, I don't trust it, because like that money that I'm saving, I'm being frugal, is for my family. I'm not gonna hand that to anybody here to trust them, because they'll just disappear on you. We bought a neck fan, much needed. I think Dazzle has a neck fan. Right, Mom? I think Dazzle bought a neck fan. Like, you put it on your neck and I think Dazzle bought one. Get a notification that, all right, I'm gonna, Ray in the Philippines is live. So, all right. Have a nice day, everyone. Thank you so much for joining the live stream. I appreciate everyone. Ray in the Philippines, if you want to check out his YouTube, he's on live, and I'm sure James and Karen also, please support their live. They're gonna go on live here too, I'm sure. James likes to do it after me, he says, because like kind of preps him, gives him the prepping him for maybe I'm like the opening singer, and he's like the main event, like to set him up. All right, take care, everyone, and please, everyone, stay blessed. Enjoy your Patriots Day in the United States, and let's remember the fallen souls during 9/11. Keep them in your prayers. Take care, everyone.